It's cold and also
I
loud.
like how cold it is.
I like it too when I'm wearing pants. A lot. I got a skirt on. Okay. Can I get all the started with one kid facing the screen? We're gonna go over some stuffs. Here we go. So at this point, last class we learned how to draw a face because today we're gonna be drafting, okay? So at the beginning of this class, I'm going to be checking these off. Have I checked these off? I don't think I have I?
Yes.
I did? So if you have a stamp, you'll just get in line right away, and I'll remind myself that I stamped you, and then I will give you a drafting worksheet, okay? So those of you that weren't here to turn these in last class when we were doing the faces, we're doing, it's not abstract sculpture, it's actually a surreal bust. What does surreal mean? It's realistic, but not. It's weird. Something is weird or otherworldly or gross or frightening. It's just weird, okay? So we have some examples up here. We have the sun guy, we have the upside down head, and then we have an elf. I want it weird. If I told you when you checked off with me that it wasn't weird enough, you better weird it up on the draft, because I'm not going to check off the draft unless it really vibes as surreal. If you're struggling to make yours weird or surreal, then you need to Google and Pinterest some surreal art to get yourself some ideas going, okay? All right, so you should have all of this filled out. You should have 9 different references, the busts, faces to help you sculpt, and then whatever surreal elements you're going to include on this head. And then you should have 3 thumbnails, and then I will stamp you off. When you have all 3 stamps, most of you should have it already, I will give you a worksheet, okay? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put your name up here. What period is this? Whatever it is right now. So this is basically the same layout as our monsters, except I want you to notice the difference is that in the middle here, with an extra inch on either side, this gray graph is where your shoulders are going to need to go. That's the width of your shoulders. Okay? The height of your head needs to be up here. It has to hit that mark. So when you're drafting, the bottom of your draft is touching the bottom of this big gray box, and the top of your head, not the top of your horns, not the top of whatever surreal, the top of your cranium, if you have one, is going to hit right here. Now the reason that there's a minimum on this one is because a head is actually pretty difficult to sculpt. Because if you do it really small, you have to sculpt the eyes and the nose and the nostrils and the mouth. And when you do really tiny things with your big sausage fingers, it's actually more difficult. Does that make sense to everybody? So what I recommend, and I'm just going to do something weird and fast, okay? I recommend you go up at least 1 inch for the shoulders, okay? You get yourself a neck, and then you get yourself a head. Okay, that leaves a nice big head for you to sculpt eyes. Okay, now who remembers where the eyes are on a face? In the middle. Okay, bump, bump, bump. So like right here would be where the eyes go. Woo! This is why I'm an art teacher. Okay, so once you kind of get the layout, I would do this in pencil. I'm doing it in pen so you guys can see it nice and big. But then you're going to actually start doing the surreal something. What's something surreal I could add to this? Somebody say something. Wings? Leaves. I don't know. I like the idea of wings. Maybe there's a bunch of wings. What's something else I could add to this to make it surreal?
A necklace of teeth.
A triangle cheese for a nose? Okay, so this is like a cube of cheese. Good. Anybody else got something weird I can add to this?
A necklace of teeth.
A necklace of teeth. What does that look like?
It's a bunch of teeth strung together.
Are they in order? There we go. We've got teeth necklace. Now you have all this extra space over here in case you want to go outside of it. But I definitely want you guys, don't just do, like, this is awful, obviously. Let's put a little bit more thought, or, like, I think I had, like, an idea of maybe, like, moth wings or something, like, what's going to be up here. But I'm also looking for an interesting shape or something. What is the most underrated part of these is the shoulders. I want you to think about an outfit, because that's a really cool way. If you look up here at these examples, the sun face one, the bloody one, has like this whole suit and tie situation that's really cool, and it really adds to the vibe of this piece, and it tells you a little bit about this character. And then the pearl necklace on the other one, so maybe she's in a gown. Let's put her in a gown, okay? Maybe there's some folds or something, but okay. Let's say this is my drawing. Please do better than this. Let's give her a fringe. That's the only way. That's what she did. Okay? Then you're going to go ahead and do the side view. Now, one thing that you need to be aware of when you do this side view, so let's say that this is the thickness of her shoulders, or her, like, chest. She's got her neck. That probably needs to be a little bit bigger than this, actually. Neck. Now, when you do your head, it's actually, like, feel the back of your neck. Your cranium pops out. Okay? So you kind of have to think about what this is going to look like from the front view, or from the side view. Wait, that would be the side of the thing of cheese. Whatever. Okay? So we can see, what does the eye look like from the side? Is it like that? I didn't line that up, but I did pretty good. Okay, whatever. It's not quite long enough. There we go. The fringe goes there. We've got wings right here. That looks like Dumbo. Little wings right there. Oh, up here. Whatever. You guys get the point? You guys remember how to do all this? So use pencil because you're going to make mistakes like I did. Let's give her a rat tail because... Yeah! We need something interesting from the side view, okay? We need it. What about the mouth? Done. And we gotta get these teeth. Yeah, okay. So on the bottom of this, you guys, I will reject you if yours looks this bad. I want to get a stamp that says rejected. Oh my goodness, do better, okay? Now what you're going to do at the bottom is I'm asking you about the color vibe. What emotional vibe do you want your bust to have? Remember, we're visual storytellers. We're trying to tell this. Now, the other thing is, like, this facial expression is so lame. Maybe she's, like, got her mouth open and, I don't know, she's screaming for her life. There we go. Is that better? Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it is. Okay. So at least there's some emotion. Maybe her eyes are lidded. She's sleepy and scared.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I forgot those things. Yeah. Ooh, and look, she's cut, y'all. What's that thing you guys do? For those of you without the video, I am drawing my line across my jaw. Okay, anyways. So, what is her vibe? Hot mess. Hot mess vibe. Okay? That is the vibe of this gal. What color scheme is that? I feel like that's definitely some neon green. Hot pink for sure. Maybe some yellow. And then some blue for sadness, because every hot mess is a sadness. And maybe there's a dark blue to go with it. Okay? You know that rat tail's gotta be pink, so, okay. So I've got my color scheme that fits my emotion, right? Because we're visual storytellers, okay? Then on the back, remember what you're gonna do is you're gonna fold this over so that you can see everything, so that you can easily pop in and out of your piece, okay? So do not come back over to me to check off your draft until you have finished the back of this, because this is the part where I know you know what you're doing. This is where I can fact check that you understand how to build this thing, okay? So let's go through this. Coil construction. You will build your surreal bust by snaking coils of clay into a generic bust shape. That's what we've got right here. It's like a little example. The generic shape is kind of like a light bulb head. It's just like super simple, okay? Your generic shape will be hollow and will include interior scaffolding. Now notice how interior scaffolding, that's hard to see, isn't it? Interior scaffolding is pink, and what I have shown here with dotted lines is where that scaffolding is going to be. What is this scaffolding lined up with?
The neck.
The neck. Why do you think the scaffolding I've chosen to put it on the neck? Because that's what's holding up the giant head. Okay? Imagine if the shoulders, if all of these shoulders here were hollow under there, all of this weight is pushing down on the body right here. What's going to happen to those, I almost said it, those shoulders? They're going to collapse. It's going to bend inward. It's going to crack there. All this weight cannot be held up by air. Okay? So we have to build some scaffolding inside of there. This will keep your structure sculpturally strong. Okay? Once you have your generic coil formed, you will add solid clay to build out the jaw and the cranium and other 3D parts. So imagine this, you guys. Imagine this is your generic side view right here. You're going to have to build out the nose, the chin, the cranium, whatever. That's a little exaggerated, but you get my drift, okay? Yeah, make a point what's happening here. So, we have to figure out how we're going to go about doing that. What parts of your bust, oh wait, sorry, I didn't finish. So you will add solid clay to build out the jaw, the cranium, and other 3D parts of the head, and then you will hollow those thick areas. Remember I showed you a picture of my tigress lady? I had chopped off the boobs, and then I had hollowed it out. You're going to build it on solid, okay? So if you make a really big chin, or like you have like a big beard, you're just going to build it solid as long as the structure can hold that amount of weight. Depending on how big it is, we might have to like do pinch pots to make it hollow. Does that make sense? But for most things, you can build it solid, get it how you want it, smooth it out, cut it off, hollow it out, and then score it right back on. Okay? So that's kind of our process. Does everybody kind of understand the process of how we're going to go about building this? I haven't taught you how to coil yet. I'll teach you how to do that. But intellectually, you should be able to figure this out. All right, so what parts of your bust will you need to build out? Let's figure out which parts of the head you will need to be added on. Build out facial features. So the generic light bulb shape will need to be built out to make it look more human. Use a highlighter. This is very important right here, you guys, because this is how I'm going to be able to tell that you know what you're doing. Use a highlighter to draw the generic light bulb shape of your coil construction on top of your draft. So let me grab myself a highlighter. This is my creepy gal right here. So we're going to build, what are we going to build out of coils is basically what I'm asking you. This is the bare minimum, okay? So we're going to build this shape right here, and then we're going to build a light bulb shape right there. That's it, okay? So when I come back over here to the side view, I'm going to have the body for sure, and then the light bulb shape is here. That highlighter is basically dead. So, when we're looking at this piece, what parts of this piece are we going to have to score on to make them pop out? The side view is really important for this, okay? The nose, for sure. Let's get another color here. I'm just doing this so you guys can see. The nose pops out. I didn't give my girl a chin, but let's imagine that I was kind enough to give her a chin. You'd need to do that. Okay, what else? The back of the head, good, so that these look a little bit more realistic. Let's go to the front view. What things are popping off? The ears, whatever this stuff is, and the wings. Okay? So those are the big major things that are going to be built out. But then we also have all the features as well. Are your eyes flat? They're sunk in and they're round. So you're going to have to build out the nose, the eyes, and the mouth, and wherever that non-existent chin of mine is. And if you have hair. Remember how when we learned how to draw a face, remember I told you guys that some kids just draw hair right on the skull and it looks like it's been spray painted on? It looks awful. The hair should also stick out. Okay? So once you figure out all the parts that are extending out from this light bulb, we're going to come back over here to the back. It says, observe the parts of your surreal bust draft that stick out from the light bulb shape. These are the parts that you will need to build out using solid clay. So you're going to list them. What are some of the parts that we have? Nose, chin, cranium. I don't know how to spell that. Fringe, bow, ears, wings, eyes, lips. Is that everything? Did I hit everything? Oh, rat tail, sure. Can't forget that. Alright, so now I know, and you can add more over here if you have more things going on. Alright? So list any of the precarious parts. What are going to be my precarious parts, y'all? Ears and wings. Everything else is pretty flat, or is going to have like, the nose sticks out, but it has a huge space where it's going to be score slips scored on. So like imagine right here is where it's big, so it's not going to be too precarious. If it was like this, then maybe. Maybe that would be, I mean, does that make this better? Maybe it does. Maybe that's the direction the cheese comes out. We just don't know. Okay. So I think for the most part, mine are ears and wings. Then at the bottom, construction order. You need to figure out the order that you will build your bust parts. Here's the general order, but it depends on your design. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do the coil light bulb, the shoulder, neck, and head. You're going to need to do facial features. So these are the ones that are a part of the face. Chin, forehead, nose, mouth, eyes. And then I want you to figure out here what you're going to do first, second, and last. So I think after I do this face, let's say I sculpt this face, the next thing I'm probably going to want to do is the hair. After that, I'm probably going to want to do the dress and necklace. Then I would probably choose to do between, what do you think is more precarious, the wings or the ears? Yeah, so let's do the wings first. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do the bow first because it's got gravity on its side. It's not sticking out. It's on top. So that'll be less precarious. Does that make sense to everybody? Then I'm going to do the wings. And then I'm going to do number 8. I'm going to do the ears. And then number 9, I'm going to do the rat tail. Okay, does everybody, oops, you guys couldn't see all that. Do you guys, everybody understand how I'm trying to see that you know how you're about to build this thing, you're feeling confident. The only thing you guys don't know how to do is how to coil. That's it. Everything else, y'all know how to do. You know how to add the other thing that you don't know how to do is how to hollow things out. I've shown you that with the legs. Remember I showed you guys if you had just a little bit robust legs, how to hollow them out. But I'll review that as well for you guys. But this is your final project. Okay? So the only thing left we have for these 2 months is we're going to take about 4 weeks to build this thing. That's it. We got 1 month to build this thing. And then we're going to take the last month with no wet clay and we're going to glaze everything. So we're going to finish glazing our monsters if you haven't, your tiles if you haven't, and you're going to glaze this, and that is the year wrapped. Everybody understand what's going on? Anybody have any questions? Yes, Evie.
My piece is gonna be like hunched over. How do I make it so it doesn't fall into its face?
So if yours is gonna be hunched over, like let's say over here, like you've got your head going this way. From the beginning, it's going to be defying gravity. Does that make sense? So let's say your chin is here, maybe your nose is here, and your brow is here, whatever. Your ear would be here. Better than that, please. Whatever. You get my drift. Okay. So that is going to be an issue from the very get-go. When you do your, you're going to want to start with that shape exactly. And so when you're doing your coiling, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than going straight up. But from day one, as soon as you get like coiled to like here, I would start your chin where your chin area is going to go, but it will actually be here for the light bulb shape. Does that make sense? You're going to put a stilt there. Then you'll build more, and then you can either keep that stilt or put another stilt here. You're going to have to really, and then when you're sculpting the face, you're probably going to have to lean it over on some foam so that you can sculpt it without gravity, with you being able to see it. Does that make sense? Yeah. That was a great question. Anybody else have a great question or a bad question? I'm good at all of it. I mean, I might not be good at it if I can figure it out. All right. If you have a stamp, come get in line. If you need to get checked off, come get in line. Gus, would you hand me the pile of drafts right there, pretty please? Thank you, dear.